Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever signed. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about it.
I don't think I've ever said this before.
PBD, we're live, sir.
We are here.
Yeah, here we go.
We're here.
We're live, baby. Let's go.
Here.
Guys, welcome to the PBD podcast.
No, that's called focus, and that's called focus.
That's called not having this on because it's so loud. Well, what's up, everybody? Good to be with you. Just to correct Adam, today is not Labor Day. It's Memorial Day.
true.
Yes.
Memorial Day.
Although
Big
we are
difference.
working today, Pat.
Yes, we are.
Shout out to everybody listening.
1971, it became a thing to recognize fallen soldiers last Monday of May. They call it the beginning of summers, what it's called today. Vinny, in a minute, we'll be doing some prayers as we get into it. We got a lot of stuff to go through. Today's also the day where we're making the announcement of speakers, the vault speakers. Can't wait for this. We've been waiting for this for a while. It's been exciting. The lineup of speakers are going to be phenomenal. And then aside from that, stories to get into. The U.S.-Iran deal. That hasn't happened yet, but it is in progress. The president even said from Iran that they've agreed to give up the nuclear enriched uranium. You've not heard that before from them. They have finally agreed to something like that. The blockade is made it very difficult for them. We'll cover that story. Then we have to talk about the assassination attempt on Ivanka Trump, I believe was a story that came out. So we'll address that as well. And then there was a shooting at the White House. Can you imagine like what it is to be working at D.C. or be working at White House? How many of these types of things you hear happening around the president? It's like a regular thing now.
All day.
If you're immune to it, that's a problem. Think about it. By now, you're like, well, there was a shooting. Can you imagine? It's no longer a main story. It's like the number 3 story. There was a shooting in the White House. 4 years ago, that would have been a headline story for 2 months. Right now, it's like number 3 story. We got other things to cover, to go through. Tulsi Gabbard resignation happened as well. Something people were expecting to happen, but they thought it was going to happen before the end of the year. They didn't think it was going to happen this early, and some thought she was going to get fired. But there was a resignation for allegedly personal matters, husband's health that they're dealing with, which we wish her nothing but the best. Kevin Warsh, we'll talk about that. It's a closest. Tom, you said Kevin Warsh was the closest they've ever had, right, of it getting done. So he's official. Then there's a story of a Bolt CEO. Bolt CEO comes out and decides to fire the entire HR department. They said, you're making too much noise, too many headaches for us. And let's not forget, while the shooting was going on at the White House, there's 3 different ways people react to shootings. There's the way Asians react, and there's the way Americans react. And Humberto was even more specific, white female, like on how they react to a shooting. I want to make sure I give the shout out to our analyst, hardcore analyst from Chile. So, we will go through. Yeah, he doesn't want me to say. Yeah. Who is a very proud American. He loves it. He assimilated very well here. He loves America, just to make sure the right people hear that. Yep. So, and then we have to talk about Hasan Piker. Something happened with Hasan Piker. Apparently, they showed up. They knocked on his door, and they said, hey, it's kind of time. You can't go around,
bringing young
indirectly, indirectly talking about threatening the president, which we'll address that. And then he was hanging out also with a girl named Ashley St. Clair, isn't she like Elon's
baby mama?
Baby mama, right? One of the baby mamas. You got to get in the list of one of them. So she was there as well, hanging out with him. I don't know what that reasoning was. McKinsey is not knowing how to adjust with everything that's going on with AI. And they're saying, hey, we got to kind of figure this thing out because all the days of people paying $500,000 to $2 million for McKinsey to run a report for them are behind them. Like, they don't even know what to do next. I got a lot of thoughts on the consulting industry. NBA fire sale. If you didn't see the NBA fire sale, not NBA fire sale. There's not an NBA fire sale. There's a good series going on right now with the Spurs and
Wemby and OKC.
And OKC.
Great.
We're talking Masters in Business Administration, MBA fire sale that every parent needs to listen to and have their kids also listen to. It's $250,000 savings. And colleges, some major colleges, we're talking like Michigan. We're talking UC Irvine giving a 50% discount. We're talking like real schools that are giving big discounts. And that WSJ Wall Street Journal article is phenomenal. We got to go through it. And for those of you guys that are tuning in with us on Memorial Day, I just want to tell you, You know, you're the true fans that we got here joining us. A lot of people here were asking, some of the new employees that we have, you know, we got 170 plus employees now. So people are like, are you guys still going to do a podcast on Memorial Day? I said, listen, we've done podcasts on worse days, on busier days, you know, on days that everybody, we do Thanksgiving, we do Christmas, we'll do New Year's, we'll do all of it. It doesn't matter. But today, before we start the podcast, Vinny, and before I make the announcement, Vinny, I want you to take a moment here and start us off with a prayer.
Yes, sir. Dear Lord, on this Memorial Day, we take a moment to honor the men and women who gave their lives defending this country and the freedoms that we often take for granted. We pray for their families, for our veterans, for our service members still carrying that weight of sacrifice. We also pray for everyone watching and listening to our podcast today, Lord, whatever burdens they're carrying, whatever battles they're facing, give them peace and strength, wisdom, and hope. And we pray, Lord, that you bring families closer together and remind us all how blessed we are living in this amazing country. Give us the courage to stand for truth, and we may never forget the cost of freedom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. By the way, when you have 4 kids and you pray, you know what's one of the best things when somebody prays at the table? Is when your youngest is always doing one of these.
She's
They're
looking.
Like looking around to see whose eyes are open. You know what I'm talking about, to the 4-year-old community, that you keep your eyes open. We love you. You're the best. You make prayers even more exciting. But Vinny, thank you for that prayer. And to all the families that you've gone through it, I have some friends whose family have gone through it. Our prayers and thoughts are with you. Having said that, let's get right into it. The president is trying to broker one of the most important deals we've had in the last few decades, and that is to get Iran to get rid of the enriched uranium, and it's been very complicated. A lot of people, if you go to Kalshi, this thing's not going to get done till next year. It's not going to get done till September. It's not going to get done till July. I said it's going to get done before June 14th, and a lot of people disagreed, which I agree with them. I understand this is not an easy thing to get done, but then we got stories that all of a sudden, the president announced he will not be going to his son's wedding. Wait, you're not going to your son's wedding? No. It's not like it's his 4th wedding. You know, you don't go to someone's 4th wedding. Normally, you just don't attend the 4th. Like if somebody invites you to your 4th wedding, what do you say? Hey, man, listen, I may make it to the 5th, but I'm skipping the 4th. This is the 2nd.
Yeah.
You typically, if you have a friend or a son, you make the 1st and the 2nd. From there, it's okay if you don't. Yeah. So the president decides not to go to the 2nd wedding that Don Jr. is having. And then aside from that, while this whole thing is going on, Ivanka Trump, rumors come out that there's an assassination attempt on his daughter. Wait, what? So he's missing the wedding to his oldest son. His daughter's getting an assassination attempt. And is this the story on Ivanka's assassination attempt? Go ahead, Rob.
Per the New York Post, the man behind this plot was an Iraqi national who the Justice Department had arrested earlier this month for his alleged ties to Kataib Hezbollah and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The New York Post reports Mohammed al-Sadi had targeted Ivanka Trump to avenge the killing of his mentor, top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, in 2020. A former deputy military attaché in the Iraqi embassy tells the Post, after Qasem was killed, al-Sadi went around telling people, we need to kill Ivanka to burn down the house of Trump the way he burned down our house. Al-Sadi reportedly had a blueprint of Ivanka's Florida home and even posted a photo of their house online saying, I say to the Americans, look at this picture and know that neither your palaces nor the Secret Service will protect you. We are currently in the stage of surveillance and analysis. I told you our revenge is a matter of time. The Secret Service says the Secret Service does not confirm or comment on matters involving protective intelligence. The Secret Service closely monitors information and intelligence related.
So that happens. While that happens, you see J.D. Vance going back to the White House. You see conversations about them going into the Situation Room. You see all these stories about the president going back and they're going to have a meeting. Everybody's seen all these clips of what's going on. Something's about to happen. And then you get President Trump's tweet that says the following. Rob, if you want to put up this tweet. So then you see this here. I'm in the Oval Office at the White House, but we just had a very good call with President Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud of Saudi Arabia and United Nations Arab leader, UAE. I'm not going to read all these names. Bunch of different people. It'll take me 17 minutes to cover all these names, but we'll skip.
A lot of
Concerning the Islamic Republic of Iran and all things related to Memorandum of Understanding pertaining to peace. An agreement has largely been negotiated subject to finalization between the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran. The various other countries, as listed, separately had a call with Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu of Israel as well, which likewise went very well. Final aspects and details of the deal are currently being discussed and will be announced shortly, in addition to many other elements of the agreement, Strait of Hormuz. Rob, if you want to open up Twitter and go to my Twitter account, I'll kind of break down what the rumors are of what is going to be covered in the deal. And this is what you're hearing, okay? So a lot of noise between two nations, okay? Iran has agreed to give up its stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Iran currently has 400 kilograms of highly enriched uranium, which is enough for 11 nuclear bombs. These are the rumors of what's being negotiated. Pezeshkian said, yes, we're willing to give it up. U.S. has began the phase of unfreezing Iran's $6 billion to $30 billion in cash. Strait of Hormuz will open up. Iran won't charge a penny for the ships going through. No $2 million toll that they'll collect. The U.S. agrees to relieve some of the sanctions. War ends on all fronts with Lebanon. U.S. forces near Iran to withdraw. 30 to 60 days to finalize the nuclear deal. If true, this is a massive victory. Here's my winners and losers of what I think is going to happen. And Tom, I'm coming to you first with this one here. Number one winner, American people. Oil prices will likely fall. Shipping insurance costs drop. Inflation pressures eases. Number two, the president. It's a big deal to get this done. 3 global markets. 4 stock market. 5 Gulf states. Temporary tension eliminated. I have them both as winners and losers. I'll tell you why in a minute. IRGC gains legitimacy. They're not Venezuela. Venezuela, they came in, they picked up Maduro, they're gone. You couldn't do that with Iran. You killed 50 of their top leaders, including their supreme leader, and they still stood up, right? Mm-hmm. So whether anyone likes this or not, including myself, we have to say they gain some legitimacy. China's a major winner. Strait of Hormuz hurts them the most. They can spin this to their people that the deal got done after the president left China, but guess what? They desperately need this. Russia relies on Iran being a bit more stable. NATO nations were starting to worry. They were pansy shivering about having to help the U.S. They're also the biggest losers. I'll cover that here in a minute as well. Losers, the Iranian people. No one knows what the IRGC will do to their people after the deal to their own people. Their media outlets will say they beat America. Can you imagine, like, you're in Iran, you know how vicious these people are, and you have to sit there potentially for 10, 20 more years because we realized Reza Pahlavi couldn't do it alone. Reza Pahlavi couldn't do it with the Trump administration. Now the people are stranded. They're saying, what about all these times we went in the streets? What about the 30, 40, 50,000? The numbers we've heard, low 3,100, high 100,000. The Iranian people are the ones that are the biggest losers of this because IRGC still stays in control. Number two, Obama administration. This sounds like a much stronger deal than Obama did. Obama couldn't pull this off, so this is not a good look for them. Netanyahu, he wanted regime change or collapse for his legacy, but Trump wasn't on the same page. At the end, NATO was exposed. They showed they don't have America's back if shit were to hit the fan. Terrible moment for NATO nations. Reza Pahlavi, another year of not being able to pull it off for his people. Trust me, I get a lot of shit from people that are fans of our peace. And I cannot believe you say this. But then you would be amazed how many thousands of messages of people who support him and love him and like him simply say, just because I love him and like him doesn't mean he's the leader I would vote for to get this thing done. So they are one of the biggest losers out there as well because regime change and collapse that he promised is not around the corner. Gulf states, the IRGC will still control a neighbor capable of firing rockets at them. Iranian proxies and non-state actors, Hezbollah, Houthis, and Shia military will not receive the same funding flow that they had before. Defense contractors, of course, war hawks. War continues. They make more money. This is not good for the military-industrial complex. Oil producers benefiting from high prices. A lot of these guys were selling high prices even though they didn't need to. Political extremists on both sides, they lose. The woke right especially loses because they wanted Trump to continue losing. They don't want this thing to happen. They don't want it to be a quick war. The woke right wants this war to continue, to be able to say it's another Afghanistan, to be able to say it's another one of those things. And Trump still keeps his promise. He's not a war guy. So he's not a person that wants to go into war. He wants to get deals done, right? Democrats, they desperately needed this to continue heading into midterms. They will hate this deal. Don't worry. They'll still find a way to blame Trump. But independents won't fall for the BS. Democrats and a woke right will follow suit, but not reasonable independents who can think for themselves. So aside from that, my prediction stays that this gets done before June 14th. And then after that, we have the greatest 60 days of positive distractions around the corner, which is President Trump's birthday, June 14th, 4th of July, 250-year anniversary, World Cup, June 11th through the July 19th. Everybody will move on, and then they'll be off to Cuba. They'll be off to Greenland. They'll be off to affordability. They'll be off to midterms. They'll be off to all these other issues that he has to go through. Love him or hate him, he continues to show how fluid his mind is and that he can change his approach depending on whether things do go his way or don't go his way. Future looks bright. Tom, your thoughts on this whole Iran in U.S. steel?
So the first thing I see, I'm not going to go down through your winners and losers because, there's a line there that you're drawing. What I looked at was the number of people that are involved in it. So he went to all the parties in the Middle East. To get a deal done, everybody's got to be happy. So number one, he got all of them together. Number two, on the eve of it, and this is aligned, NATO, who leads NATO? UK and Germany, right? We do, but UK and Germany are significant. On the 23rd, Pat, at Gibraltar, the UK Navy was staging all of their mine clearing equipment, and their ship, the Lyme Bay, Lymebay, is there at Gibraltar, fully stacked, and they have autonomous subs that go down underwater without humans in them, and they use sonar to detonate mines, and they also use metal tracking and other things to detect the mines. So here it is on the 23rd, Pat. Right before this happened on the 23rd, we're hearing that the British are ready to come in and help. What I think that means is that there is a huge backdoor negotiation. Now, the mainstream media would love this to play out in public so they could pick on it. But take a look at what's happening in the background, Pat, is you've got people ready to help. So that's my second point, is that everybody was there. I love everybody in there. And then lastly, the part that I'm not thrilled with yet is I really don't want an energized IRGC in position to take action on those people. I still am worried about that because I think the fallout for that, crushes people that what they wanted was freedom. I think the oil markets, believe that this is real. Today we're in oil futures. The U.S. markets are closed today for Memorial Day. However, the futures are out there to show you the pressure on prices. Oil's down $5. West Texas Intermediate 91.77, 91.75 on Rob's chart here, which means it's just $2 from being 89, and it hasn't been there. Rob, you could put that on year to date and go take a look at just year to date. See, if we get down under 90, we haven't been there since mid-March. So
early March, Tom, like first week of March.
First week of March, and we had a little bitty spike in the middle of April where we really saw it was going to be. Go all the way to the bottom of that one, Rob, all the way to the trough, 75.
Check.
See, so that's it. So that's what I think, Pat. I love the fact that this was broadly negotiated on the back. We need to get this thing done and get out of it.
Adam.
I feel bad for the Iranian people, straight up. I think a deal's going to get done at some point. I mean, we've differed on when the date's going to be. To me, that's almost irrelevant. It's Trump's in no rush to do a deal, and nor should he be. I don't think, what's the famous phrase? Like, no deal is better than a bad deal. I think he understands that no matter what deal gets done, the details of the deal are almost irrelevant. Is Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, actually going to honor any deal whatsoever? That's the biggest question. What are they going to honor? We know for sure when this deal gets done, the people who are going to be living in the country will suffer. They've already suffered enough, and they will continue to suffer, and that's horrible. The Gulf states in that region understand fully the threat of Iran now. They flirted with it for a while. Let's be real here. They knew. Israel's known this for a while, but now all the Gulf states know. So they're going to be left sort of holding the bag, being like, so whatever deal gets done, whatever nuclear deal, whatever uranium deal, they're going to get some amount of cash. They're going to freeze these assets, whatever that is from sanctions. They're going to reopen the strait. And now everybody in that neighborhood is going to be left with an sort of empowered Iran. Even though they got their ass kicked, they still going to come back and say, just like you said, Pat, that they won.
Benny, your thoughts?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, Pat. First of all, great tweet. You broke that was broken down, and I think I agree with every single thing that you said. One of the biggest losers. One of the biggest things that disgusted me. I'm not surprised, but it disgusted me. Are the war hawks like the Ted Cruz, the Lindsey Graham?
Can you pull up Ted Cruz's tweet?
Yep.
And
Mike Pompeo, Lindsey Graham. It's almost as if, Pat, these demons are pissed off at peace. like tweeting and trying to undermine.
You know, if they're demons, maybe that's just their values. Maybe, but like Ted Cruz doesn't, to me, is not a demon.
If you're
just Ted Cruz he wants this thing to be done. He wants a war. He wants boots on the ground.
Yeah,
right?
he wants people to die.
Perfect. No, well, I understand, but to me, there's two different things, Vinny. For us to jump and just say they're demons, I'm going to read the tweet, and I want you to give your opinions on it. Okay? I am deeply concerned about what we are hearing about an Iran deal being pushed by some voices in the administration. President Trump's decision to strike Iran was the most consequential, Okay, he was so right to do so. If the results are that Iranian regime still the Islamists chant to death America, now receiving billions of dollars in enriched uranium, all this other stuff, the details are still coming out, and I pray that reports are wrong and that the fact that Biden's Rob Malley is praising the deal is not encouraging. President Trump believes in the peace deal. Okay, so that's what he said. Can you go to Mark Levin? Not Mark. Am I saying his name correctly?
Levin.
Mark Levin. Yeah. Mark Levin. Same. Now, Mark Levin gets very emotional, Vinny, on what he's saying. So I want you to give your thoughts on this. Go ahead, Rob.
It was simple.
Rob,
this regime needs to be defeated. And I'll leave it to the experts to figure out, but there are general things that need to be done. Number one, militarily.
Okay, you can pause it there. But he goes into a tweet himself. Julius, don't worry about it. We'll deal with it afterwards. I'm good with it.
And what does he say exactly?
So he's saying this regime needs to be defeated because it's killing its own people, all the other stuff. For sure. Mm-hmm. I agree with that the regime is a bad regime. So, Vinny, I want to come back to you.
Yeah.
To automatically say, I don't think, I disagree with Tucker. I don't think he's a demon. I disagree with a lot of things that some of these other guys say. I don't think they're demons. I don't think Mark Levin is a demon. I just think he's a pro-Israel, Israel first type of a guy. Mm-hmm. And that's his position. A lot, like we got a message from a guy this weekend who's a Muslim. Can't believe you're doing this, Vinny. It's because of you that the shooting happened.
Yeah.
You're the one that's...
What?
Do you think he's a demon? Do you think that guy's a demon?
I don't think he's necessarily a demon, Pat, but what is his soul captured by and who is he answering to?
Not the one you and I are free of.
100%.
But guess what? That's his choice.
Very true. But
That's his choice.
But I think you are serving something big. If I'm serving Jesus Christ and God, Pat, and you're serving something else, even if you're blindly and you don't know and your soul's captured, you're a soldier for the devil. I throw the word demon, but Pat, if your attitude, not you, if their attitude is, boots on the ground, I don't care. They need to figure out regime change.
I agree.
Yeah.
That I fully agree.
But if they're pro, send people's kids to go die for something. And mind you, they have no game plan. His thing is let the experts figure it out. We just figured out Iran is not going to fold, and boots on the ground is going to mean an endless war, and everybody's going to die. Because those people, and you guys made great points, Adam, though the people that I was under the impression that we were there to help, they are beyond screwed because now the RGC is going to be like, yay, we're better. And then they're going to turn back at the people and go, you guys were against us. Now the torture, now the murder, and guess what? No cameras, no internet, no nothing.
Well,
so
you agree with Mark Levin?
No. I obviously agree with regime change. Show me how you're going to do it without killing everybody.
Right.
Like, you're going to have to kill boots on the ground. No, I don't want any of our boots on the ground because I was under the oppression, and I think Trump, with a little bit of people in his ear like Lindsey Graham and everybody, this was going to be a Venezuela. We're riding high.
By the way, it's an interesting point you're making. Did you know? Have you seen Lindsey Graham lately?
No.
Do you remember for about 6 weeks, Lindsey was everywhere carrying flags?
Yeah.
Where's Lindsey been the last few weeks?
Besides
with the president?
Disneyland?
Well, besides Disneyland, but around the president.
I haven't seen him.
Why do you think?
Maybe something for the image of him being in his ear and bothering him. They're like, yo, get the hell away from us.
Maybe the president was willing to hear a lot of things out, and then he's like, it's just not the position I'm taking. Mm-hmm. And then they disagreed, and we're like, that's not good. You're not making a right move. So I don't care whether you think it's a right move or not. I'm not going here. You want to say something, Tom?
No, I'm listening.
Yeah. I don't want to go here, right? I don't want to go to this place to have an endless war. It's just not what I believe in. So maybe someone, what is the likelihood that a night he's by himself, quiet, somebody that he values, he just comes in and says, hey, just out of curiosity, Donald, person that could call him Donald, one of those people.
Okay.
Do you really want to extend this war? No. Is this really that important to you? We can't have them have nuclear weapons. I get it, but do you really, really want to extend this war? Was never part of your plan. No, it's not. Well, why don't we just get the enriched uranium out, get a 20-year contract, and then let the next guy have to deal with this? I think that's what I'm probably going to do. Maybe that's what happened. By the way, that decision doesn't mean it is beneficial for the innocent Iranians that are getting slaughtered.
Yep.
But guess what it is, though? That is a decision that is truly a America first position.
Yeah.
So to him, he may be saying, I am America first. I'm willing to help out a lot of different people around the world, but not at the cost of us having to go through it at these levels. This is my threshold. This is where I'm willing to go to. Past this, guess what, Israel? It's your problem. You handle it. You say you don't need money from us anymore the next 10 years. Because in a way, when Bibi also says that, how do you think Trump receives that message? I want you to think about it. You're Trump. You hear Bibi says, the next 10 years, we're no longer going to rely on America for money anymore, the 3.8 billion, even though we buy 80% weapons. Trump sees that on TV when he's saying that in an interview. How does Trump handle it?
Well, in my opinion, they probably privately discussed that. And so I don't think that caught him off guard.
I don't think it caught him off guard, but what do you think Trump also sees when he sees that?
If you want to go there, he's probably like, oh, okay, you don't need our help? Well, we'll see about that. But what Bibi said wasn't necessarily not financial assistance, but working out a partnership, like where it works for both sides.
But it is in a way of saying we don't need money. Remember, Trump is a guy, in my opinion, that comes in as watching everybody kind of make their moves and maneuvers, and then he's making his adjustments, his decisions, and then Bibi is probably sitting out. He's saying, hey, if you think you got it, go get it.
Yeah.
Why don't you handle it from here on?
But let me ask you a question though. I think you hinted at this. So I love the plan. Get their uranium, because that's what everybody. The main thing is. Well, I thought it was the people, but no nukes. Iran could have no nukes. But you mean to tell me you're gonna give them $6 to however more $billion and trust the same people that are full of you know what to do what with this money? So it's basically going back to square one, Pat. Right? If you're gonna give the IRGC all this billions of dollars and say what? You guys better not do terrorist stuff. You better not fund terrorist stuff. That's what we're dealing with. So it's like going back to square one. So it's a little.
So what would your advice be? Boots on the ground or no boots on the ground?
No boots on the ground. I mean, we are where we are right now. I just wish the information that people were giving the president, Pat, was more realistic and not trying to benefit them.
Fair.
That's what I think, because I believe, I'm not, by the way, he's not stupid at all, but Pat, if you were to me going, hey, Vinny, I'm telling you right now, bro, you just killed it in Venezuela, we're going to be good. He's doing it, and he's doing it. And then a couple of other friends go, Vinny, I know you love them, but don't listen to them. And you're like, bro, I got this. And then all of a sudden we are where we are, and then it's like, oh, damn, we got to get the hell out.
Adam.
I'll just give some quick feedback. Everything comes down to a question that you asked that we've discussed before is, what hill are you willing to die on? And for me, was this a top 3 issue for Trump? Maybe a 3, certainly not a 1 or a 2. Maybe a top 5, certainly a top 10. Is this
definitely not a top 3.
No.
Okay, but
of course,
I'm with you. It's
fair
not
enough.
a top 3.
Got it.
But where does it stand for Bibi?
Where does it stand for Israel? This is number 1. This is existential.
Yeah,
By the way, it's also a number 1 for who else?
For Gulf
For
states.
Iran and the Gulf
Iranians.
states.
Iranians.
Well, the IRGC and the Islamic Republic of Iran, this is also number 1, meaning because it's an existential threat to their existence.
But not America.
Correct. So when it comes to an existential threat to your existence, that's the hill you're willing to die on. And that's why Israel and Iran are so entangled in this. Is America entangled in this? Of course. Is this where we're going to hitch our wagon to? Of course not. So to me, Trump would love to get in, get out, move on to the next one, i.e. China, i.e. Monroe Doctrine, i.e. America first. To me, there's no question of boots on the ground. That's not happening here. You asked about, I wish that people, stop putting their interests into the president's ear doing that. Yeah, but unfortunately, Vin, that's called America, and that's called lobbying. We have an entire industry based on lobbying where the entire premise is go talk to the higher-ups in power and tell them what you want out of this. That's the way that this works. So whether it's Ted Cruz, whether it's anyone on the left, the right, they all have interest. And then last thing, I think Pat touched on it. At this point, you're calling so many people demons. I don't know who the actual demons are. So let's figure out who the demons are.
You do as well.
And
don't act
isolate
innocent. You do the same as well.
Hold on, sir.
Not demons.
You said I've used the word
not
demon?
No, demon's
I've never
not your
used that
word. That's
word.
his word. But no, you'll call
That's what
out
I'm
as
asking.
well. You'll call out as well. You'll call out.
Call out is different than demon.
You will, but you will use certain names for them as well.
Such as?
names for Tucker, names for Candace, you'll call out as well.
I've said Tucker's been
But let me
insane.
let me tell you what.
He's the one that said he got scratched by a demon.
Let me tell you, he's changed his position. Whether he got paid or not, I don't know. I saw a report coming out from Alex and Anna Paulina Luna that they're about to release that influencers got paid from foreign nations.
Yeah.
If they did, and that is true, what do you call those guys? If they did. What do you call those guys?
If you're getting money from another country,
crony
paid.
capitalist?
No, trader.
It's a trader.
Effing
the
trader.
word is a trader. If
What are you
you got
talking
paid, if I go to Anna Paulina Luna,
Trader.
Anna Paulina Luna said, if you did. Now, we don't know. Again, this is all what? Every one of these, I have camera. Look at Alex's tweet. Can you click on Alex's tweet? So Alex is, if you guys don't know who Alex is, he is with the president all the time. He is a Trump advisor, young guy.
Social media.
So we are aware of multiple foreign influencers campaigns that are actively tracking both the intermediary companies receiving these funds as passed through the influencers who are failing to disclose their compensation. We need far stricter disclosure laws for foreign influencers marketing ops. And then if you go back, Anna Paulina Luna says what? She says, I have confirmed this is true, and there are receipts. Well, guess what? I can't wait to see it. And when that happens, you know what you are? You're dividing America, confusing the hell out of the young people, and I don't think long-term that is sustainable. Tom, any thoughts you have on this story before we move on?
Yeah, I can't wait to see this list for one reason. I want to see the before and after, because then America gets to see it all. If I've always loved vanilla ice cream, and then India gives me, I say, hey, we harvest a lot of vanilla bean. We'd like you to be a spokesman for vanilla. And they're paying me, and I don't move my position, that's one thing. But I think people are moving positions, and I think there's people moving around. And I can't wait for that data before and after to be on the
By the way, I think it's important because the audience is probably going to connect you. Tom's favorite ice cream flavor is rainbow sherbet. It's his favorite.
Really?
And by the way, so does Brooklyn. Brooklyn, they love it, Tom.
West Hollywood rainbow sherbet.
But anyways, going back, look, the reason why I'm doing this, is the following. The only reason I'm doing this is the following. We have to be able to reason and understand the other side's position. You know who's been able to do this eloquently the last 10 years? The president. He negotiates with Putin. He negotiates with Xi. He negotiates with the Syrian president. He negotiates with all these guys. And guess what? He doesn't agree with a lot of things these guys are doing. And he's still able to sit there and negotiate with them and give them their thoughts. I do think that a lot of people that wanted this thing to continue and have boots on the ground, they're part of the loser camp, and they're not happy right now. But the worst loser out of everybody is the Iranian people. Guy sends me a manek this morning. It's an audio, so I can't even play it because I want to keep the privacy for this guy. And he's saying, I think RP is good for phase 2 and phase 3, but he's not good for phase 1. And phase 1 is requiring somebody to get RP is Reza Pahlavi, requiring to get some of the military to want to turn or whatever. I'm saying that he didn't really say it that way because he only had 30 seconds on my neck. The reality of it is the Iranian people, the 81%, according to the study that was done by Gammon in Netherlands, I believe, the 81% of Iranians who were hoping this was going to be gone, they're going to sleep having lost hope because guess when's going to be the next time that Iranians are going to be this close for having a possible revolution? Guess when's the next time this is going to happen?
It might not ever be.
It might never be. And you're absolutely right. And by the way,
there's no scheduled election.
It breaks my heart, but if there's any hope to the Iranian people that are watching this is the following. If you just lost, the Iranian people that wanted to be free, they just lost. Okay? All right. So you have to step back. You have one or two choices. The next time you're going to have a Trump to help you out is going to be a long time. It's not going to happen for decades, right?
Well,
this
maybe
was the closest. This was the closest you ever got. You have to sit there and put a true campaign together on how to flip people in the military internally. And for you to be able to do that, you got a lot of work to do. It's going to take a long time because they're going to come out so much stronger than they were before because this is possibly the greatest victory Iran has had in the last 47 years, purely propaganda-wise. Yeah, I'm not talking a victory. Propaganda-wise. Are you kidding me? I would love to see what they're saying on TV right now. I would love to see what they're preaching from the pulpit. I'd love to see what messaging they're giving that we went up against and Venezuela couldn't do it. This person couldn't do it, but we won. And look at us now. We did the deal with the person that everybody was supposed to fear.
The great Satan is backing down.
Something like that. So, but anyways, I forgot to do the announcement of Vault speakers. So to all the people in BDC that are sitting there at the office waiting for it and everybody else, we officially have our speakers for the Vault conference finalized. And I waited till the last one. And the last one, I literally got the confirmation last night at 8 p.m., 7 p.m.-ish, when I got the text that we're done. And I wanted to make sure we put an event together where we talk about everything that's going on with AI, the good, bad, the ugly, and how to leverage it. One of the biggest names on AI we're bringing, you're going to know who he is. Many of you will. I wanted to talk about the importance of having running mates, because for me, winning at the highest level, you need a running mate. Tom is a running mate. You go faster when you find your running mate. So I brought two people that ran together and won multiple championships together. And then I wanted to bring somebody that your sons, a lot of you guys are bringing their sons and their kids on social media to be able to know how to build a brand. Maybe the guy that was able to do this at the highest level and who he's one of the biggest names right now on social media, who's very successful, made a lot of money as well. And last but not least, one of the biggest podcasters in the world who does it in a way that's very different than everybody else, and he's killing it. He's got almost 20 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. With that being said, these are the speakers at the Vault Conference 2026, MGM Grand Arena. Go ahead, Rob. The beautiful thing about these events, you know how quickly it goes? Like this. Is everybody ready to get started?
I've helped over 10,000 business owners grow and scale their companies. I'm just passionate about watching entrepreneurs create great business.
When you get guys like Jerry Rice, that was his work ethic. We were able to do some great things on the football field.
Wow. The single most important trait I had was a healthy dose of delusion.
Stephen Bartlett.
And that delusion is sometimes also referred to as self-belief.
Coming from UK.
When I can do something that I love, that is good for business, and I can make content out of, that's my trifecta.
That's so cool.
That's a great lineup.
Good for you, Logan.
It's a phenomenal,
Thanks for being a part of this.
Phenomenal lineup. Vault Conference, MGM Grand Arena. If you haven't yet registered, listen, CEO tickets, which there's only 500 of, less than 100 left. Go to vault2026.com, vault2026.com. Get your tickets. We have companies that are bringing, one company from France is bringing 500 of their sales reps from France. Did you hear what I just said?
Oui, oui.
From France. Oui, oui. Yes. They're bringing So some of you guys are on the sales team. You have your executive team. A lot of guys bring their family, their partners. And also with some of you that want to have your kids learning on how to create content the way that Logan and Jake Paul have, and then they became who they are today with their businesses, you may want to bring your kids as well. So go to vault2026.com, get registered. We cannot wait to see you. It'll be the greatest Vault conference we've ever had. Cannot wait to see everybody there. Okay, with that being said.
Which is the one that you finalized last night at 8 p.m.?
Logan Paul. Logan Paul was
That's cool.
7 p.m. 7 p.m.
He was the last man.
He was the last one, but we got it done yesterday because he's coming from a complete different area, and it's going to be busy. Okay.
300-page book we got going.
Yeah, 296 pages.
This is the first year that we're not doing it in Florida. We're doing it in Vegas.
First one, we're not doing it in Florida. It's going to Vegas, and a lot of people on West Coast are excited about it, but people are coming from all over the world. All right, so let's get into the next story. The next story I want to get into has to do with, a CEO of Bolt. I'm going to go business. We'll come back. We got a lot of other stories we'll get into, but I want to go into a business story here. Bolt's CEO all of a sudden decides to fire his entire HR team. And people are like, wait, what? Yep. He decided to get rid of his entire HR team. He is explaining why he did so. Go for it, Rob.
We got rid of our HR team.
Why?
We had an HR team, right? And that HR team was creating problems that didn't exist. And those problems disappeared when I let them go.
Why? Why did you get rid of your HR team?
We replaced it with a couple-person people ops team, which was meant to just streamline people operations.
Okay.
I can't say that I would advise the same in a large company, but we're back in startup mode again. Those HR professionals have really important insights when you're in peacetime and when you're at a larger company. But, we're a remote company. It's not like, a lot of the potential issues that you would have in a workplace don't really exist because you're not in the same room as somebody.
Okay, you can pause it right there. Tom, thoughts on this? Because we've been dealing with HR for a long time, insurance company, currently what we're doing, they play a very important role. But why do you think sometimes HR and the company have issues?
Well, I think that as companies are growing, right, everybody in the company sometimes loses sight of the vision of the company and what you're really trying to do. And what he was talking about, Ryan Breslow was talking about, when HR creates problems that really don't exist. And this is what it'll sound like. If you have your own, by the way, if this is one of the things we're going to talk about at Vault. So we're going to talk openly about HR, managing people, developing teams, and all that.
We're actually bringing employees up on stage to show how we calibrate, and we openly expose our conflicts. And it was one of the most biggest highlights we had at SLS that we did. It was everybody was talking about it. Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Tom.
Exactly. And so what you have is, withholding information or, walking into, Pat and I both experienced this, we had HR at PHP in Dallas. Everyone is saying that. All the people are talking about. Everybody is upset about.
They said this.
They said. So everybody, I said, okay, send an email to everybody, and someone. Have they, everybody, and someone meet me in the conference room. Well, I can't do that. They spoke to HR in confidence. So HR then is divisive. Oh, really? So you're holding all these secret conversations? That doesn't work. And so you drill down and you find out it's one or two people, and HR in a small organization is getting its legitimacy by literally manipulating information. And so if you have a small HR group and they're not working to drive the company forward, and they're not looking to help hire with speed, and they're not looking to, have programs and benefits and things in there, at the lowest cost and work for that, and then you've got this little HR group, which everyone feels like is the Gestapo, then guess what you need to do? Take the Gestapo to the firing squad. And that's what Ryan Breslow did.
The firing squad?
Well, no.
Getting them fired.
He fired all of them. I'm using fired. I'm not saying be violent, but he brings out a good point. Apparently, he had one of those HR departments that was manipulating things, taking things.
Here's
and it just doesn't work. Yeah. If you're not there to help build the company and here to build people up and enable people, then you're the
Tom. Go ahead, Adam.
You're the cops.
Go ahead.
You want to finish? Okay. The reason I think that you wanted to discuss this story is because one of the books that you always mention that I, consistently revert back to when I'm trying to understand business and concepts and startups is Barbarians of Bureaucrats. This would seem to me that this guy was probably the prophet, right? He had his barbarians and he had his flag carriers. And at some point, the startup culture turned into a bureaucratic nightmare with red tape.
Were you going to make a point, or are you going to go to the book? Are you asking a question?
Yeah, I'm asking if this is the reason.
No, was that really the question to ask? If
no, you didn't even let me finish my entire situation,
the question, buddy, because he's making a point. If you have a point, make the point. I got a point to make.
Go ahead.
What's your question?
No, I'm done.
Okay, so then let me get into the point, because this is an HR.
I was done, by the way.
I understand that. So the part with HR is the following, Tom. In HR, sometimes you get some people that when it's wartime, and I think the guy was talking about it, they have things to fix. When there isn't a war, they create problems to fix them, okay? And it's not necessary, because it's kind of like, am I valuable? Am I valuable? Am I valuable? Let me create a problem. Here's another one. Triangulation is sometimes when you're a business owner, you're running a company, it's kind of like, hey, Adam, what do you think about what Vinny said about you? And I heard Vinny said this. And then, no, Vinny, I heard Tom said this about you. And then I'm creating and I'm pinning all of you guys against each other, which it becomes a problem. I will tell you, there's only one shirt I've ever bought that said, I am that department. And you know what it is? I bought a shirt. You know what the shirt says? I am HR. You know why? Because I am HR. I had a meeting with our HR team. I had a lot of meetings with our HR team last 12 months. But I went and I said, I am HR. This is not our shirt, Rob. It's not yet, but it looks something like that. So I said, I am HR. There's not a single department that's more important to us right now for our growth level than HR. Why? We hired 17 new people last Monday. You have to get the comp right. You have to get the benefits right. Speed of hiring and growing, very, very important on how HR does it. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
So if done right, there's no way you build a big business without a great HR. I remember one time RJ and I were talking, and out RJ draw up in the interview. I did 6 interviews with this guy. I had him draw up the Uber chart that they had on how many people in each department, because he used to be at Uber. And he was a chief data officer at Uber, Tom, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Do you know how many talent acquisition people they had at Uber? Talent acquisition is people that hire people. 250 were W-2 employees. 250 were independent contractors. All they do all day, you know what they do?
Filter the good people.
All they do is they hire.
500 people?
500 is independent, 250 is W-2. And all day, so you got employee relations, you got ground, somebody that's taking care of the grounds, like you know here who it is, Barney.
Yeah, the man.
You know how much stuff Barney has to do.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of stuff that when you're dealing with HR, it's super, super important. But my God, if they get in the way and they play politics, they become the CEO's #1 enemy because they create problems that don't exist. And then you know what happens? There's noise. If there's noise, what do? You lose speed. So this is why I love this story and why it's out there. And I think it's necessary for a lot of other entrepreneurs to pay close attention to this, because if you don't, it has what it takes to create so much noise in your company and slow you down. At the last event that we had at SLS at Trump Doral, we brought 2 of our employees who had massive issues with each other for about a couple weeks. And we had them openly talk about what happened with them calibration-wise. And they openly said, this is the issue. I was about to quit. I was going through this, the details. And the audience said, wait a minute, you guys are this open about it? We're this open about it. And we created a system that made it very clear for everybody to calibrate on who succeeds and who doesn't succeed based on 5 markers that we look at: effort, attitude, leadership. You got effort, attitude, leadership, innovation, and results. We score you on that, and then every quarter we see who's improving, who's not, and then you can give raises to the people that are, you can give promotions to the people that are, and identify who you have to move on with. Some people you have to move on with a company, but sometimes HR creates too much noise. Now, Adam, do you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay, beautiful. Let's move on to the next one. And Vinny, I know you have a lot to say about HR, but if you don't mind, I'm going to save your energy for the next topic.
I'm going to bottle it.
All right, next one I want to go to is Tulsi Gabbard resignation, okay? Tulsi Gabbard resigns as Director of National Intelligence. A lot of people were, creating rumors that this may be coming up, whether she could be the next one. Because who was it? It was Pam Bondi, and then who else was it? Kristi Noem. And so now
Cash was on the list.
Cash was on that list, but this is official now. Pam Bondi, then Kristi Noem, and now it's Tulsi Gabbard. Rob, this is it. Unfortunately, after having done a great job, Tulsi Gabbard will be leaving the administration on June 30th. Her wonderful husband, Abraham, has recently diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer, and she rightfully wants to be with him, bringing him back to good health as they currently fight a tough battle together. I have no doubt he will soon be better than ever. Tulsi has done an incredible job, and we will miss her. Her highly respected Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, Aaron Lucas, will serve as the Acting Director of National Intelligence, President Donald J. Trump. Vinny, what are your thoughts on this story?
Again, going back to the people that were just like automatically, Pat, everybody thinks that they know everything. It's like, oh my God, this is the piece. It's like her husband, and our prayers go to this guy and their families, has freaking bone cancer. As if what? Is it a made-up story? Is it a made-up story? This is an actual thing that's happening. We know Tulsi. We're going to pray for her. We're going to pray for her husband and hope that they get through it, God willing. Okay, but the fact that everybody automatically, who was it? Laura Loomer, everybody like good riddance and good. It's like shame on anybody that was out there talking crap about her or her job or what she's doing. Mind you, this is a girl that left her party to come to help the president. And I don't know if anybody else is complaining about how safe in national intelligence. I feel pretty damn safe with her at the helm. And she's stepping down. All I can say, Pat, is she did a great job. God bless her. And I hope that the future for her and for her husband is good.
Adam.
I'll just say this. As someone that my significant other, my ex-girlfriend, did have to go through cancer, and I know what it's like, and this is her husband. So I'll just say this, that some things are bigger than politics. Some things are bigger than business. Some things are bigger than anything in life. And I'm just going to take it at face value here that she legitimately stepped down because her husband, Abraham, is fighting a extremely rare form of bone cancer. So some things are just what they are. I'm sure there's going to be ridiculous storylines out there from the left and the right questioning what her loyalty is and what her agenda is. For me, until I hear anything substantive and different, I'm just going to say respect to you, Tulsi. Thank you for your service to this country. I hope you and your husband get through this. I hope he gets through this. And as someone that knows Tulsi, like we've met Tulsi over the years, praying for you.
And my father, Pat, just really, really quick, because you hit on it. My father, his cancer went from lung to bone to brain. And I'm telling people, if my mom was out, and by the way, how hard do you think the DNI is? She's out. She's never home. She's always out there. She's always at work. You have to be there for the person, okay? Because I'm pretty sure he's going to be going through chemo and stuff.
Do you think this is the main reason why she stepped down?
I think right now, Pat, I think so.
You think, Tom, do you think this is the main reason why she stepped down? I have a hard time believing that. Don't get me wrong. I think Tulsi played a very important role in 2024 when she joined the team. I think Tulsi played a very important role, her and RFK, very, very important role while they were campaigning. Do I think this is really happening? Of course, 100%. Do I think this is the number one reason why they're stepping down? I don't think so. I think there's more to it. And I hate to be the guy that's going to go take that position, but I think it's more than that. Tom, what do you think?
So there were very credible news reports coming out over the last 2 weeks that the CIA had pulled back documentation, the hard copy files that DNI had pulled in, and Tulsi wanted to declassify documents. Remember, that was one of the discussion points and one of the promises, associated promises that was made to the American people, that we're going to be declassifying documents, we're going to be putting truth out there. And supposedly, Tulsi Gabbard and DNI were in the process of declassifying 2 weeks ago, I think it was, about that. Now, then they came out and said, no, our office wasn't raided. Well, wait, where did the story come from? There were credible news media out there that said the CIA pulled back documents. Then even Tulsi said, easy, it's really not all that. But there was too much around this, and too many people quoted, and too many folks that were on top of this, like Anna Paulina Luna, that were saying, wait a minute, we can't be doing this. So that didn't come out definitive, but there was too much talking about it. It sounded like something really was there. If that's what was going on, that would mean that somebody's out there trying to frustrate her ability to do her job. And if she was facing a silent war inside let's call the CIA what it is, establishment, and she's out there trying to do her job, I could totally see that weighing on her. Then your husband gets cancer. God bless you. I hope it's workable. I hope the Lord gives you great peace and strength during this time, Tulsi. I hope so. We know you. But if that was on there at the same time, I could see it coming together where she says, I'm going to tap out.
I'll just address sort of the opinion that you kind of shared, which is, all right, I said, listen, I'm taking this on face value that she went with her husband. At the same time, there is a chance that she's stepping away to, as they say, spend more time with the family, which was sort of planned. She might have been on her way out anyway, allegedly, and then this just might have just been the icing on the cake, so to speak. So it's almost like what came first, the chicken or the egg. But I do understand exactly what you're saying is like she was also skating on thin ice, some may say, with the president.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. The most important thing, almost like the Iran deal, not even in terms of deal, what will Iran actually do when the deal is done? The question is when he's, God help him, healed, what will she do next? Will she go the stay aligned with Trump loyalist route? Or will she go the burn it all to the ground, Joe Kent, Thomas Massey route? That to me is the question at this point.
So this is, I don't think that's the number one reason. I think it's either, because DNI, you have to realize DNI is above CIA. DNI is above CIA.
I think it heads DNI over like 18 different agencies.
So it's not like you think CIA likes being under DNI?
No, they want to be by themselves.
Hell no.
Control, right?
Hell no.
The establishment Virginia farm boys?
How do you think CIA looks at DNI? How do you think CIA looks at DNA?
Like, who are you to
Who
tell
do you
us?
think you are?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Who
Get the hell
put
out of
these
here.
guys over
Yeah.
us? We've been doing this since we killed Kennedy.
Yeah. So I don't know if they like giving up that much power to somebody that comes in. And maybe she was trying to do what she was. I'll speculate a little bit. Let's just kind of speculate because oh my God, yeah, this is what I think. No. Let's speculate. One is face value. The reason why she stepped down is husband, challenges, cancer. Great. I understand it. Tough, terrible situation. And we've been around business for a long time where things happen and people have to step away and go through things. But, so that's that. Number two is she felt like she couldn't get the job done. Okay, so that's number two. And she was kind of, her hands were, tied behind her back and she couldn't do anything. Number three is that whole issue that happened with Joe Kent stepping down. And there was a story of Joe Kent going and meeting with Tulsi and also JD. I don't know if you remember when that story was released. There was a story about the fact that the three of them had a meeting together before his tweet and his resignation.
I remember that.
And they held a file for several months in the safe in her office.
Yeah. So that, that is automatically get you to, you think the president's automatically going to trust you? I don't know if he's going to trust with that taking place. So he gave you the job, and then that's what happens. And then Joe Kent comes, talks to you. And then when Tulsi was asked multiple times during the hearing, if you remember the answer she gave, I don't know if you remember the answer she gave. She said, do you agree with the president's decision? And then she said, the president made the decision based on the intel that we shared with him. It's not the answer. It was, do you agree with the president's decision? Do you stand with this? I do. Director, do you agree with it? The president makes the decision? Why do you guys even have jobs, right? So there was something that happened to you, Rob. Can you play? Is it that clip? I don't know. It could have been that clip. Play the clip. I was just trying to go.
Only the president, the only person who can determine what is an imminent threat is the president of the United States. Do you stand by that statement?
Yes, I do.
Director Ratcliffe, do you agree with that assessment? That the president is the only person that can determine if something is an imminent threat or not?
I don't know if this is it. There's a moment where she says he made the decision based on the information we shared with him. And then they asked, but do you agree with the president? And it was kind of like, that's not the point. The point is we gave him the information. So it wasn't an affirmative decision to defend. Now, in her defense, Caroline Leavitt stood in front of her. And if you remember that, Caroline Leavitt defended her. Do you guys remember that day when Caroline Leavitt defended her? Caroline Leavitt stood in the front and said, you know what? She is doing a great job. And, she's doing this and it's the media, and, all this other stuff. And she kind of, not this one. There's one with Caroline. If you just type in Caroline Leavitt and Tulsi, you will see there was a moment where she's standing in front of Tulsi and defending her. So I don't know. I don't know if there is Trump's got 2 more years left. Let's face it, right? A little over 2 more years, 2.5 more years left to get things done. If all of a sudden you feel like you're working with somebody who doesn't side with you and doesn't agree with you, and maybe you can't trust 100%, maybe he has to make a move. You never know. And Trump doesn't have a problem firing people. He move on in a heartbeat and go get somebody else and see who needs to be there. So I don't know. I don't know where there is, but I have a hard time with this one just thinking it's dropping for that. Or you quit before you're going to get fired. Some people, when they get a feeling they're about to get fired, and they typically quit before just to save face, because Kristi Noem didn't. Kristi Noem got fired. Pam Bondi, I believe, got fired, right? Did Pam Bondi get fired?
Yeah, she rode in the president's car with him, and he said, Pam, it's time.
So,
both sides.
And then you have Tulsi that is going through this. So I think there's more to the story than we think.
Just keep in mind, somebody's going to come in and be the next man up, and apparently it's just going to be the deputy director, Aaron Lucas. So prepared to get familiar with his name a little bit more further.
And not Aaron.
No.
Is he bald?
L-U-K-A-S.
Is he bald?
That guy's a baller right there. L-U-K-A-S. Aaron Lucas. He's going to be the new
and
deputy
FYI,
director.
just so you know, she is on that list of people that a lot of people think in 2028 she may run and team up with JD. So JD, Tulsi, JD, President, Tulsi, VP. So don't
on the non-intervention side.
Yeah, on the non-intervention side, and there's a community that's building up for that.
I think her, they said we say the future looks bright. I think her political future is certainly bright. She's very capable. we'll just see how aligned she is with Trump or not. That's what we're going to see over time, in my opinion.
Yeah, and she's definitely a player, and so we'll see what's going to happen with that. She's definitely a player, but we'll see what happens moving forward. Let's go to the next story. Next story I want to get to is Hasan Piker. Out of nowhere, we get a story. Streamer, young streamer, very talented, very capable, good communicator, knows how to rally the youth, but not necessarily towards the positive. Eventually, this is what happened in his streaming. Let me just read the story. Vinny, I'm going to come to you. What page is this one on, Rob, with Hasan Piker?
That's page 13.
All right, let me go to page 13. So he's not getting indicted. The FBI came knocking, right? Is that what happened here? Yeah, federal subpoena Hasan Piker, Media Benjamin over Cuba trips. Subpoena political streamer Hasan Piker and Code Pink co-founder Media Benjamin as part of the broader investigation into whether American activists violated the U.S. sanctions law while supporting Cuban Communist government. The Treasury Department Office of Foreign Assets Control requested financial, logistical, and communication records tied to March trips to Cuba organized through the Nuestra American Convoy, a coalition of communist activists, influencers, and community organizations that deliver supplies to Cuba's ruling Communist Party. The investigation reportedly involves as many as 40 American citizens and forms of a larger federal effort targeting foreign influence operations tied to extremist movements, political violence, and organizations accused of promoting anti-U.S. narratives. Fox News Digital businessman Roy Singham allegedly funneled hundreds of millions of dollars into nonprofits promoting pro-China, pro-Cuba, and anti-American activism. Code Pink reportedly received more than $1 million after Singham, from Singham after his marriage to co-founder Jody Evans. Organizations tied to Convoy, Democratic Socialist America, the People's Forum, and the Venezuelan Brigade authorities invested in Cuban focus on sanctions violations. So anyways, Vinny, how big of a deal is this?
Well, I mean, and again, we have to wait to see everything, but it just, like, the first thing that hit my head was, like, can you imagine being a wannabe hardcore Marxist revolutionary and Hasan Piker, your Che Guevara, who's constantly bashing America, constantly crapping on capitalism, talking about imperialism, privilege, oppression, all that, how horrible this country is. Meanwhile, he's a multi-millionaire celebrity inside the very system that he claims to hate. And the second, Pat, the federal government applies a little bit of pressure, he shows his true colors. And you know what it is? He ain't about that life. All right, Rob, if you want to play that that part of him, he's like look how shook he is. Go ahead.
And I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not great.
Oh no.
The news is not great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's bullshit.
Oh, of course.
But still
Shook.
not great.
Shook.
That
watch free me.
You know,
It's like, help.
they're after your boy. They're up my ass.
Yeah. That looks like a revolutionary.
And I'll obviously get into it right now.
Watch. See.
I'll tell you all about it, but let me blast off real quick.
Watch this. Does he say free me here? Free me.
We will free you, brother. Yeah, free me. Free me.
Okay. So by the way, Rob, no revolutionary speech, Pat. No rally cry. No stand firm on principle. Just free me. Free me. I can't believe I'm saying that. That's because he's not a revolutionary, okay? He's a champagne socialist who loves, like, the aesthetic of a revolution. Like, it sounds good, it's alluring, it's hot, it's sexy, right? But he likes that way more than the actual revolution itself, okay? Che Guevara is probably rolling in his grave right now. Pat, mind you guys, let me remind you guys who Hasan Piker is. This guy said America deserved 9/11. He's doubled down, he's tripled down on it. He's talking about all the wars we do, we deserved it. Over 3,000 Americans dead. Okay, not soldiers, just Americans in the World Trade dead in New York. He said we deserve that. Okay, this is that guy. And then this is him, Rob. Who's he sitting with here, Pat? Do you guys know who this girl is? I don't know who this female is. You guys know her, Adam? She's a social media, she's a pundit, whatever. Look at what he's talking about her. She talked about assassination. Play this clip. This is how he feels about Trump's assassination.
You actually wrote about this, and it was a great video where you talked about, you know, someone has to do it.
Meaning assassinating Trump? Look at her.
See, when I say that, everyone knows exactly what I mean. Yeah. That which is, I think that shows that there's a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and untapped potential, untapped revolutionary potential, as a matter of fact. And it's a great opportunity for organizing, I think, in these.
Dude, did you guys hear that? untapped like revolution.
Yeah.
He's talking about because she made the comment about killing the president of the United States, Taylor Lorenz, and this is the guy. And I think, Pat, I believe, allegedly, he might be one of these people that's getting money from a Turkey or getting money from the Middle East. These are the Trojan horse people that are poisoning the minds of the youth. Anti-America, hates the country, praises 9/11, and then the moment the government tries to get on you and just is hinting at a subpoena, you turn into a little girl. Okay, and I love, Pat, that you mentioned Neville Roy Singham, Tom. He's the guy from
China.
This is the
guy. Watch this guy closely, folks.
Pat, $285 million into nonprofits, including the Hasan Piker company called the Code Pink, the place that he was hanging out with over there. So, and this is what's going to happen, Pat. You asked me what they're going to do. They're going to go through your financial records. They're going to go through your communications, your logistics, and whether you're working and abetting the communist regime of Cuba. Okay, and if that happens, guys, if you're peddling for a foreign nation, don't you have to register as a foreign agent? So I'm just saying, all the talk and the moment it happens, bro.
Play that clip as well, Rob. Play that clip as well.
Literally doesn't matter. He can prep with whoever he wants. He can prep with Benny Morris if he wants. There is no what you support terrorism ? No, I don't. I don't support the state of Israel, and I don't support the state of the United States of America.
That's the 9/11 one, Pat?
Yeah, Rob, that's the wrong.
No, there is the 9/11
There's a clip where he says America deserves.
He tripled down.
What happened on 9/11, and he said something about capitalist blood.
Oh yeah, let it blood soak their effing, kill them, put their blood in the streets. Pat, this is again all talk, and the moment you get checked,
who's he related to? Isn't he related to
Cenk
somebody?
Uyghur's nephew.
Yeah. The apple doesn't fall that far from the tree. Yeah.
Rob, I just sent you a clip. Play that clip to kind of see him. And by the way, there's a message to this. There's a message to this, and it's not even towards him. There's a message to the youth. Go ahead, Rob. Play this clip.
Poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Poor. Yeah. Okay. By the way, when a guy's immediate reaction is that's not an act.
Of course it's not.
He believes this.
Yeah.
So by the way, this is because that's even worse. This is a true believer.
Yes.
Who reacts that way. Okay, when you see something like this. You know what's the biggest takeaway from this, Tom? So, who watches them?
The youth.
What age?
Young progressive.
What age? Can you pull up and see what is his audience? What is the age?
16 to 30.
Okay, so what is the age who watches, what's the age demo of his audience? Go to it. So, under 30, heavily under 30, 60% of his community is under 30. Position him as a prominent voice for Gen Z and younger millennials. Okay, so how many frustrated Gen Z young millennials are out there? Millions.
Yes.
Okay, how many does it need to convince to go out there and kill, when he says killed, let the blood. All he needs to do is one Luigi Mangione is what you got to get,
yeah,
right? You don't need that many of them.
Yeah.
And so multiply that times millions. So if you're a young boy and you're watching this, here's what you have to be careful with. How many young boys do we have? Rob, how many young men do we have in America under the age of 22 under the age of 18 that are, living with a single mother, okay? I wonder if we can get that data or not. So take that number where 7.5 million young males under the age of 18 that live with a single mother in the U.S. So according to U.S. Census Bureau, that tracks around 15.3 million children living exclusively with single mothers. But I'm talking young males. Vinny, you know why that's so important? So what happens when you're 7.5 million young males under the age of 18, no father, you see a clip like this by this guy, who do you process that issue with?
Nobody. It's just he's your guy. That's the guy.
That's your guy. And so what do? If you're not too careful, guys, we had a kid this last week in school that said something dumb. It's probably going to get, what do you call it?
Suspended?
Expelled. Not even suspended. He's probably going to get expelled. When you're around other people like this and you watch and all of a sudden you get emotional and you say something dumb, your career is on the line forever. Mm-hmm. You can't put yourself in positions like this. And parents have to watch very closely of what and who is influencing your kids. If you're not watching the phone, if you don't grab your kid's phone and go to history If you're under 18 years old, grab history just to see what you're consuming. So if you go to history, you see soccer videos, guess what? Great.
Yeah.
If you go to history and it's, I don't know, basketball videos, prank videos, funny videos, all this other stuff, great. If you go in history and you see revolutionary talk, killing this guy, killing that guy, you better get a hold of your kid very, very quickly, or else these types of folks are having influence over your kids. And you don't want this thing to, it'll never happen to my kid, it'll never happen to my kid. Nobody knows something's going to happen until it's too late. Tom, your thoughts on this story?
Yeah, exactly. So I go two sides to it. And the first side, I never want my voice snuffed. And I never want illicit means used to shut me off, which means the price of free speech is free speech. Unless you're out there and you're a foreign agent. And what I think he's worried about is FARA can land you in prison.
Oh, yeah.
And this is if you haven't registered or you're being paid, you are now a spy. You are now, not by legal definition, but to the rest of America. And I want to see, this goes back to the first story we covered today. I want to see where people were before and after they got money and who they got it from, Pat. I want to see that list because I think we're going to see a lot of things that the guys like this, he sits there with this reaction. I want to see capitalist blood. And then maybe he was taking sponsorship money or influence money, which is kind of a capitalist position, wouldn't you say, Vinny?
Oh.
There's just like you're going to make money off of your job, and your job is going to be being this lightning rod for something you may believe in, but you're basically taking, money from afar. I want to see the list. I want to see the list. I want to see the before and after. The price of free speech is free speech. But the price of vigilance is your responsibility as a citizen.
What is the price if you're threatening someone's life? What is that, Tom? If you're doing a live stream and you say kill XYZ,
go and kill XYZ.
Well, there are specific laws about the president. You can't put the president in a video game.
Threatening someone's life in the United States is considered a true threat and is protected by First Amendment. Is not protected by First Amendment. It is aggressively prosecuted at both state and federal level, depending on the severity of the jurisdiction. The punishment includes federal prison. Under federal statutes like 18 U.S.C. 875, transmitting threats over state lines can result of up to 5 years in prison. If the threat is to federal official, 10 years in prison. State jail in states like California, criminal threats can carry up to 1 year. Standard fines range from thousands to 250,000. Civil liability perpetrators may be sued by victims. And so to me, when you look at this, he's played with fire, and it's like too much. You can say whatever you want. That guy's a propaganda. That guy's a, pro-Israel. That guy's a Zionist. He's a bigot. He is racist. You can say all of that you want. But when you threaten someone's life, that's a whole different story. And he's done that. He's done that. He made it clear what he's saying. And we say, hey, 9/11. What did he say? America
He
deserved
said we deserve 9/11. That means all the Americans that died, we deserve.
But
everyone.
by the way, even that, you're freed under freedom of speech.
Oh, he can
you're
say
protected
it all day.
by that.
Yeah.
It's when you go for someone's life. Now, if they pull up the text messages and he got paid from that communist, or he got paid from Cuba, or somebody funneled money to him, it's a wrap for this guy.
Good.
Something's going to go down with this guy. Adam, your thoughts?
Well, show me your friends and show me your future. Look who he is. Look who he associates with. To me, I've never watched 1 second of Hasan Piker. I think one time you debated him on Pierce.
Yeah, we were on Pierce, and I went in on.
Not a fan. I'm just gonna say that. But there's a lot of people that are, and you've said this before, Pat. You go down this path of this progressive Islamist, Marxist, communist flirting with this, you'll lose 10, 20, 50 years of your life being brainwashed by this clown. So to me, he's a symptom of a larger problem. And then how Democrats are, like the Democratic Party's on life support. People say, oh, Trump, midterms. The Democratic Party is no longer what it was. Not even under Obama, certainly not under Clinton. And the Democratic Party has embraced this guy. So to me, this guy's just some random influencer, no big deal, who's going to be dealing with his legal problems. To me, the bigger symptom is, what is the Democratic Party doing with these people? And to me, whether it's AOC, whether it's Rashida Tlaib, whether it's Ilhan Omar, the new ringleader, unfortunately, is the mayor of New York, Zohran Mamdani. And this is who this guy basically aligns with and campaigns with. And to me, the most disrespectful thing I've seen Mamdani do, and there's a whole list of them, was what he did this weekend when he talked about Reagan. Did you hear what he said about Reagan? Unbelievable. You're going to come in as the mayor of New York City. You're not even born in America. You're born in Uganda. Wherever. You're going to come in and forget about Trump. You're going to say, yeah, I disagree with Reagan. Reagan said the 9 words that you should fear the most, scariest words are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Well, I disagree, Mom.
Yeah,
he says, I said,
play the clip.
I've worked all day and I can't feed my family. The bottom line is he thinks that government is the solution to all your problems.
Yeah.
And I promise you this, young people, ladies and gentlemen out there, you can believe whatever you want, but if you think that the government is the solution to all your problems in life, oh, you got another thing coming. This is the clip.
Go ahead, Rob.
And standing here this morning, I cannot help but think of the words of our 40th president, Ronald Reagan. He famously said, the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. It's a good quote, but I disagree. I think 9 more terrifying words are actually, I worked all day and can't feed my family. We are going to use the power of government to lower prices and make it easier for New Yorkers to put food on the table.
And
I don't believe him.
Look at the useful idiots behind him just holding up the signs. And by the way, they're probably great people. They probably work for government. These look like the type of people that you see when you go to get your driver's license, or the people that work in the DMV, or whatever it is. Those are those people, and God bless them. But they have no clue
You better get
what
used
it's going to be like.
You better get used to this. By the way, as somebody that wanted to see Iranians be free in a big way, as somebody that wanted to see IRGC fall in a big way, this is somebody that, I know them and who they are and their DNA, the IRGC. When you think about if that war continued, Iran, let's just say that thing's going to be done with here soon. If it continued and gas prices went higher, you have 2 enemies. You have IRGC as an enemy that's still around in the Middle East, or you open it up for an AOC to become the president in 2028, because that same quote that you heard is what? What are the 9 scariest words in the dictionary? I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And he's saying what? No, we are here to help, and we are with the government, right? You better believe if affordability continues to go and AI goes at them, I'm telling you right now, this message is going to become popular in America. And what's this, Rob? This is Ashley. Is this the Ashley St. Clair girl with Hasan Piker?
Yes, sir.
This is an older video or newer video?
I don't know how new.
Unfortunately, this is newer.
Stop it.
How new?
Play it. What is this about?
She's giving him.
You got me a hoodie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put this down here.
Are they together now?
Oh God,
they're an item?
What's gonna be?
Who knows?
This is gonna be. Let's see.
You ready?
Is he
Are you
straight
ready,
though?
chat?
Yeah, he's
Oh God. Oh no. I'm not even gonna see it first. Chat's gonna see it before I do.
I'm not the stepdad. I'm the dad.
I've been sent by Benjamin Netanyahu to get his Twitter account banned.
This is.
What has she become, bro?
What is the? I still don't get the
my
show.
God.
Help me understand what this means.
Yeah, Adam. What does that even mean?
You're asking me. I'm not.
Rob, what
I'm
did
not the
actually-
stepdad. I'm the dad that stepped up. So it's clearly it's in reference to whatever
Elon
beef
Musk?
she's going on with Elon and a lot of daddy issues type of thing. I wish Ashley nothing but the best, but this is not the.
Well,
the type
you
of
could wish
person
her all
wanna
the
be
best, but if she
associated
hasn't
with.
changed, is this like what have you become? I remember she used to be on like podcasts and talking. Now
She's
you're
just become anti-MAGA. That's all it is.
No, she's anti that, and like you wanted to like hooking up with Elon just to have a baby and thinking you're going to get a certain amount of money, and then you're not getting what you want, and you sell your. It's like.
Is she not getting paid though? Isn't Elon
No, she's
paying
getting
her?
paid. She's getting paid. The kid's getting $500,000
I think
a
she
year.
turned down a big offer. This is my opinion. I could be wrong. I think she turned down a $40-50 million offer that would basically silence her, and amongst other things, basically say that you can't say anything or do anything, or that Elon's not the father. And I think she said, and kudos to her, money can't buy my silence. And then here's the issue: she's now using that freedom of speech to completely just dismantle MAGA and Trump and Elon, sort of like and this is my opinion, respect to Ashley, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She's been scorned, and she's in a blaze of glory right now, it would seem, based on what I'm seeing online.
But you know what greed comes in when you don't have God in your life? Look, $500,000 a year, which is $41,000 a month, and she was like, no. She's no. I want to.
That's peanuts.
Of course, it's peanuts. But guess what? You think it's stopping Elon? You think it's stopping anybody else?
Right.
Anyway, she's a side note. She's an aspirin on this. But I think where you were going was if you fall into this camp of the Hasan Piker, Cenk Uygur, Young Turks, leftist, combined with the horseshoe right, it's a dangerous path for the country. But you're saying it is attractive, and as people get more concerned with AI and fall more disillusioned with government, this could happen.
Socialism's going to make a comeback. Just wait for it.
So scary.
Just wait for it. Just wait for it. The people I am hopeful of saving this country are the independents that can think for themselves.
Yeah.
That are the independents who can think for themselves, and they don't fall for this manipulation, even if somebody is getting paid from a foreign whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you can think for yourself and you can read through the BS, you're part of the community that can potentially hold this country together. You are more important than you know. If you don't fall for propaganda quickly, you are more important than you know. You are heroes. Mm-hmm. And by the way, you may be a regular person that's got a job making $82,000 a year as a teacher, and you're doing your thing. You're running a small little business making $220 a year net after everything. And you're like, look, I love America. I love my kids. I love this country. I love capitalism. I love the fact that I can practice my faith, and I want to keep this place together. And from the moment they handed us this country, this Constitution, nobody thought this was going to last 250 years, and we're about to celebrate it in about, 6.5 weeks, 7 weeks? You're more important than you know it. Let me get to the next story. Next story I want to get to is about careers. Folks, this is very big. A story comes out by Wall Street Journal, Rob. I don't know if you have it in here or not. I don't think you do. No, I didn't ask you to put it in there. So, story comes out by Wall Street Journal saying MBAs are on a fire sale. Okay, MBAs, Masters in Business Administration, are on a fire sale. Okay, fire sale. Now, when you read this article, Rob, I don't know if you have all the way down to go through the article. If it's not going to allow you, it does allow you. Okay, a few things you need to know about the story. More business schools are giving steep discounts on tuition that can save students up to $50,000 or tens of thousands of dollars. So people are like, why are MBA programs getting cheaper and cheaper? Keep going lower and see what's happening here. Okay, keep going lower to the stats. Purdue University, right there, Rob. Please go a little bit up, one paragraph up. Purdue Mitchell Daniels School of Business is knocking 40% off its tuition for next fall, okay? Which makes the 48 credit hour program $36,000 for out-of-state students, down from $60,000, okay? Then UC Irvine. Tuition is down 38% from $48,000 to $30,000. If you go a little bit lower, there's more stories. Johns Hopkins Carey Business School is given a 50% scholarship on graduates from a Maryland college this spring and enter on one of specialized master's program. So they're also going down 50%. Now, why is this? Why are they doing this? Here's a couple things they've noticed. They've noticed that Google, Amazon, Apple are no longer hiring MBA program students like they did before. On top of that, McKinsey, that would hire 71, I think it was from Chicago Booth of School, now they're down to 33. Stay on that article, Rob, if you could. Go back to the article you're on. This continues to go, if you go a little bit lower. Couple of the stats that I really liked in this article, Rob, if you go lower, is this one here. The number of graduate students in management who receive financial assistance has been soaring. Watch this. Last year was 47%. 47% of incoming students are receiving merit-based scholarships, up from 32% a decade ago, according to Graduate Management Admissions Council, which, by the way, Tom said something very interesting 2 weeks ago. Did you see the article that came out that said more students are getting A's today than ever before? I don't know if you saw that article. Everyone's getting A's. Oh, my God, we're getting smarter. No, we're not. It's these language learning models. But guess what number dropped? Grades went up, but guess what test scores dropped? Go ahead, Tom.
National test scores and SATs.
So let me get this straight. So we're getting better GPAs, but our SAT scores are dropping. So what does that tell you?
You can't use ChatGPT and SAT.
You cannot use ChatGPT while you're taking these tests.
SAT,
so if you want to go a little bit lower.
But you feel really good in your little home classroom.
Yeah. But if you go a little bit lower, Rob, keep going lower, keep going lower, keep going. Is that it? Oh, my God. There were so many great stats about this MBA program, what's going on. Tom, Your thoughts when you see this, MBAs. I have 4 kids. You got a couple of them. We just had dinner with my niece who got her MBA program. She gave a not MBA program. She got valedictorian. She gave a phenomenal speech at the school's valedictorian, which shout out to Dylan for screaming the way he was screaming. Everybody was screaming to make sure they knew who was the most special person in that room to us. But MBAs, a parent is asking, Tom, is it worth for me to spend $250,000 to send my kid to get an MBA program for 2 years?
Not normally. $250,000. Look, the MBA programs have come up in price and they've gone parabolic. They've gone crazy. And over the last 15 years, if you look at the cost of tuition. And what happened was the student loans were available. So I could go get student loans to get my MBA, number one. And with getting that student loan, now, guess what? It's like the government's almost underwriting the high cost from the school. So if the government makes it easier, Vinny, for me to get a student loan and you're the college, what's your incentive to be competitive on price? It's not. Just go get a student loan.
Yeah,
just go get a student loan.
Pay for it.
And then they find out what happens is terrible. So prices have been uncontrolled, number one. But the elite MBA schools used to get these big signing bonuses on Wall Street, but now we're hearing that some of those are getting pulled back. Now, some of these kids are coming in for financial aid, and now guess what's happening? The schools are having to look at it. Wow, a lot of these kids are applying for financial aid. How are we going to do this? So they would rather sell something for $60,000 a year than sell nothing with the price on the window that said $85,000 a year. So that's one of the things that's happening. And also to people that are out there, look, it's why are you getting the MBA and what are you putting inside it? There are programs, and I'm not going to pimp for any of them now by mentioning the schools, but there are schools right now. No, what I mean is, if I mention a school, then people are going to say I'm trying to say something. It's not. Some of the MBA programs, some of the MBA programs out there, what they're doing is they're saying, hey, you'll have the MBA courses will be this, but some of the business operation courses will be replaced by option courses, and option courses in AI, management of the AI systems. See, that's what's going on. And so I think some of that is happening is good. But right now we are seeing that the gold rush for MBAs is slowing down, and the economic impact is coming back down on the schools.
By the way, no joke.
Discount.
I really thought you were about to go into Drew Down, the song. I don't know if you remember or not.
Of course.
Drew Down, Pimp of the Year. Do you remember that song?
What do you mean? He was the Pimp of the Year.
Shoot.
No.
Tom, Biz, Doc,
Ellsworth. So let me give you a couple
Drew
of
and
stats.
I used to sit in the front row at the Knicks games, but I never remember talking about this.
Well, Drew Down was, if you know Drew Down, you had some good memories in your life if you listened to him. Let me give you some crazy stats.
And it was
Tom.
West Coast. We always got heat when we were at the Knicks games because all the West Coast
You ready
people
for this,
saying,
gangster?
What are you doing here,
Tom,
man?
Thug Life. Let me share this with you. You ready for this?
Gang.
Tom, check this out. 21% of Duke. Can you give me the best MBA grad degrees you can get? What schools can I get MBA degrees from? That's very impressive.
Wharton, Pennsylvania, Penn.
Okay.
So it's
anything Harvard next to it, anything Yale next to it, anything MIT next to it.
Tom, go ahead.
There they are right there.
Wharton, HBS,
Shout out to Tufts these days.
Stanford,
anything Stanford.
All right, so check this out. Let me give you stats.
Florida State.
21% of Duke.
Yeah, there they are, number 85.
21% of Duke MBA graduates were still seeking employment 3 months after graduating. So this is Duke. Duke is like a top school. Look at Michigan. 15% of University of Michigan MBA grads still looking for a job 3 months after getting their degrees.
That does mean 85% got jobs.
That's right. So, but 15% means didn't. Harvard, 20% of their 2023 grads seeking jobs 3 months later. You know what that 20% is of Harvard? You know what that number was, Tom, in 2021? 8%. 92% had jobs. Mm-hmm. It went from 8% to 20%. And then if you go a little bit deeper with the numbers, it also breaks down what the average salary is if you get an MBA, what kind of money you can make. This is what I think is going to be happening. This is my opinion long-term of what's going to happen with education, Vinny. You ready? Okay. Tom, I think what will happen with education is companies will become universities, okay? The other day, Let me tell you what happened. Our BDC team sat down with our finance team, and our finance team went through what exactly looks like to look at a balance sheet. New recruits that are coming to the consulting firms, like going through the balance sheet. Here's what it's looked like. Here's what. And then our VP of Finance, Casey, sat down and went through the whole thing with our finance department. You're going to see companies start off an MBA program. So I'm going to come to a company, and guess who becomes your professor? Tom Ellsworth's your professor once a week or once a day for 1 hour.
Big pimpin'.
No, but of course, with good music. But Tom is your professor, right? Tom, what did you do today at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Memorial Day, not Labor Day? What did you do this morning?
An elite group of 8 of our sales reps.
Can you just give their first names, please?
Yeah, it was Brandon, Taylor, Antonio, Anthony, Daniel, Luis. They're saying, hey, we're going to be here today because we're working on things. And maybe Memorial Day, we're going to respect it.
Tom, on Memorial Day morning, they ask if you're still going to have their 7 a.m. meeting with them. Now, here's a question.
Exactly right.
What did you cover with them this morning? What was the discussion?
Oh, we covered core. We covered the five-line P&L a little bit more, and we also covered the psychology of what owners are going through in this economy and what they're probably thinking and what they want to know, where they want to go. And then we took from around the room, what are you hearing, and then their own personal confidence in presenting it.
You know what's going to happen, Vinny? So say you're working for Valuetainment, and we offer an MBA program internally, okay? We can call it whatever we want. And if you go there and you finish it within the company, one, higher raises, higher promotions, you're indoctrinated in the culture of the company, you're learning what we're doing, we're able to teach you with the values and principles that we have. I think these schools are starting to realize there's a massive disruption coming around the corner. Would you rather learn from a professor that's not an operator, or would you rather learn from a Tom?
Tom, 1,000%.
1,000%.
Who also was a professor.
That's right. So,
but he's a doctor of business.
But I think that's the direction we're going to. And by the way, this leads me to McKinsey and AI, which, if you want to pull up Vinny's PowerPoint on this one. So McKinsey and AI is talking about, and by the way, I'm going to cover both of them, Rob, the McKinsey one as well as Jamie Dimon. So how AI is forcing McKinsey and its peers to rethink pricing. How AI is forcing McKinsey to rethink pricing. Okay, so what are we talking about here? It is impolite to think management consultants as comparable to call center bots, but remuneration changes at the top of McKinsey & Company shows that it comes to billing, the two are becoming more aligned. McKinsey is under pressure from clients to tie its fees to outcomes achieved.
Wait, what?
Such as lower costs, higher profits, or increased market share, rather than to the hours its consultants send concocting advice designed to achieve those ends. Charging for results delivered rather than work done makes revenue less reliable, which helps explain why firms will shunt a bigger share of partners, pay into equity, and husband more cash. The drive to tie fees to outcomes partly reflects the way billable hours are becoming less useful as a yardstick thanks to consultants' own usage of AI for tasks. Other AI-exposed professional services, such as lawyers and auditors, have also come under pressure to pass their savings as well. So, Tom, why is this such a big deal? Because Jamie Dimon also came out in the same article on the same day and says JP Morgan will hire more AI brainiacs and fewer bankers. Rob, if you want to play this clip, go forward.
And use AI. Will it change the structure of jobs? Yes. I think there have been very few announcements that are AI related. I think a lot of companies have too much bureaucracy and they may use AI to cover up the fact that they should never hire those people in the first place. But AI is going to change jobs. I don't know. I think it'll reduce some of our jobs down the road. I don't think it'll be all different types of jobs, and you have to deploy it at a level. Like, I think we'll be hiring more AI people and probably less bankers in certain categories, and it'll make them more productive. So when you get up in the morning and you want to interview someone, it'll lay out what I've said in 14 different places. It'll give you questions. Your job will be the same. You'll just be much smarter at how you execute that job. So,
but I guess. And by the way, the Goldman Sachs Chief Operating Officer, John Waldron, is building what he calls a digital factory floor. He told CNBC that the bank is using AI to automate repetitive and behind-the-scenes chores of finance. He likened the shift to physical robots assembling cars by letting software run what was previously human assembly line. Goldman employees can spend more time face-to-face with customers. Tom, thoughts on this?
This is exactly what's happening. When your billable hours, right, then you're saying that the gate to getting knowledge is time. So I'm your lawyer, Vinny. I mean, you were around lawyers that were in Los Angeles that knew the agents, that knew the opportunities, that knew the laws, knew labor laws.
Okay.
You had to go to them. And they would then charge you 1 hour of time to give an answer that they gave to 20 other comedians who had a contract to do this or that, right? And you're like, wait a minute, where's the efficiency in that? Well, they're a gatekeeper to the knowledge and the answer. Well, guess what's happening now? Now it's getting easier to find the knowledge, and you need people that know how to manage it, and they're the gatekeepers to strategy. And so what's happening here is you've got clients that are asking McKinsey, hey, what if you pay for results? Rather than charging me for 50 hours of work for 2 associates to put together a PowerPoint, maybe I pay you some sort of fee for that, but then I got an idea. I'll pay you if I'm successful. I'll pay you if it worked. Now, people say, well, wait a minute. That's like a doctor. A doctor doesn't know if you're going to get better. I mean, he's going to tell you what to do, but you got to go home from some sort of injury, and you got to do your therapy. You got to make sure that you don't, go weightlifting too soon. I can't control you. I can give you the prescription. It's not about results. Yeah, but these business people are saying, well, then let's find a way to make a blend here because you're charging me an awful lot of money.
Isn't this kind of like a hedge fund model?
No, it's more like, I don't want to pay McKinsey all this money for a 300-page PowerPoint telling me what to do. I'd rather talk to operators and people that
but the part where they basically say they want to get a percentage of the upside.
Well, yeah,
that whole portion.
That some of it's going to go to equity. And by the way, if the compensation goes to equity, what is the only way to raise the profit of the company? To operate more profitably, and if the clients are saying, I'm not going to pay you bulk hours, I'll pay you for results, then the path to profitability is actually to give advice that works. So there you have it. I'll give you a quick. We just helped somebody, Bet David Consulting, last week. They said, hey, how can I use AI for this or this? We said, hey, look, AI will solve chores for you. It'll help processes happen faster. And this guy has to answer bids from the county and the state. I'm not going to mention where or what it was, but he said, how can I use it? And we helped him take Perplexity and read the newspapers and give him once a week the list of new bids. And he said, you just saved me 3 hours when, listen to what Pat read in this article. Now I can go in front of those people and present myself and my company and make the relationship, because I didn't spend 3 hours just searching through for where are the new bids. Perplexity does the chore. Hey, here's the new bids this week. Oh, great. I'm going to go that one. He says, I have 2 more meetings this week and I saved 3 hours. Bingo. That's how AI. And so it's coming. And McKinsey, you know what? McKinsey and big time law firms,
Adam,
old model.
I've got a completely different perspective, not necessarily on the McKinsey, but back to the college thing. And it's basically how fast things are changing. But some things will stay the same. We talked, I believe, on Friday about a return to humanity, right? So right now it's college graduation season. So respect to you, class of 2026. You're graduating at an interesting time of life where AI is now the biggest culprit and being booed more than anything. But young people who are graduating college are using AI more than anybody. So riddle me that. But I was actually, remember our old friend John Stossel, he did this expose on, is college even worth it anymore? And he cites this book called The Case Against Education, basically saying that is it a waste of time and money? And one of the data pieces that they found out was that students go to college, and after 4 years, 45% of students show no significant improvement in knowledge and in wisdom, because we know that education, a lot of times, does not equal wisdom or actual real life knowledge. And then if you just want to go more stats, more Tom type stuff, unemployment rate is 4.3% right now. College graduates are almost 6%. So they also said that college graduates are 25% less likely to be employed than the average American worker. But here's some good news. Here's what I think. What's the biggest knock on college other than debt? Other than debt, why do they say go to college? Because all you do is party, all it is you're going for the, what do they call it? The college experience. But I'll tell you what if that's a good thing at this point? Because what's happening with college, what's happening with MBAs is they're being commoditized. Hey, listen, why do you need to go to school and spend $250,000 when you can just chat GPT all your knowledge? Because we're no longer living in the information phase of life, information age, we're in the validation phase. As long as you understand what the truth is, then you'll be okay. But here's what I think. And they said this in this Jamie Dimon article. He said, employees who were previously doing the human assembly line, Goldman Sachs employees, will now spend more time face-to-face with the customer. So what does that mean? Maybe, just maybe, all your partying in college, all the cool guy stuff you were doing, extracurricular activities, maybe that is what might make you more valuable to a company and to an organization other than your just random degree that you got. So could it be that the college experience, not the debt and the wisdom that you thought you were getting, interacting with, as you call it, social capital, interacting with people,
but you know,
that might be your best bet.
You're saying that. Corporations disagree with you. Corporations are saying that's not what they're hiring for. Okay, because if you read that article a little bit deeper, it'll tell you how, Google, Facebook, Meta, and Amazon, they're no longer hiring for that. They don't value that the way they did maybe before.
Well, those are all tech companies, right?
But I'll tell you a few things on the consulting side, on why the traditional consulting side is dead, but they'll figure it out. McKinsey's going to figure it out. McKinsey came out, their legacy is with James McKinsey and Marvin Bower. These guys have solved a lot of big problems. What I will tell you the market's going to go through as well as the following. When I talk to somebody who is giving me advice on life, okay, and here's what I think you should do with your six-pack, to get a six-pack. First thing I want to do is what? Pull up your shirt. Yeah, I'm not taking advice from you on six-pack. Okay?
Gotcha.
Yeah, here's the advice on how to create wealth. Okay, show me how much money. A guy comes to me at this daddy-daughter dance, and this guy's like, I want to help. Why are you having such a hard time hiring 150 people in your company? I said, what do you mean? I said, I need 150 people next 90 days. And he says, you probably don't have the right HR team. And this one, I'm like, I'm done with this guy just talking. He's one of the guys that always comes up. He just wants to talk and says, you should hire me as a consulting firm. I said, really? Yeah. I said, tell me, what's the most employees you ever hired? What's your biggest team you ever had that you hired? Oh, 20 people. Oh, really? Yeah. I said, okay. How big is your consultant? Why don't you share with me what your dollars are last year? What was your revenue last year? That's private. No, it's not. I said, McKinsey's willing to share what they did last year. It's public. I said, you're so good at what you do. Tell me your numbers. The more the conversation went, I said, buddy, I don't want to have this conversation with you right now. You know what card he pulled on me? He says, we're two Christian men. Let's try to solve this together. I said, buddy, this is not about that. I'm like, I just don't want to talk to you right now about the advice you're giving me.
About a dance.
But if you're somebody that built something, you sold. If you're somebody that built a podcast, you built Vinny, congratulations to Valuetainment Comedy, just crossed 1 million subs, right?
Thank you.
Very big deal, right? You're somebody that taught in schools and universities, and you did good for yourself. You're somebody that, if you have moral authority, people want to pay for that. That's why I think this system isn't working, because people want to talk to expert operators. They don't want to just talk to somebody that's just like, hey, I got an MBA. Let me tell you what you need to do with your business. Like, no, have you ever built something?
Yeah.
Have you ever sold something? So I think the consulting challenge is going to be who's giving the advice and what type of success have they had in their lives. I think that's the challenge. Let me get to the last story here before we wrap up. Kevin Warsh sworn in as Federal Reserve Chair. Rob, if you have a clip on this, I think you do, on Kevin Warsh being the sworn in. Apparently, it was the closest one. A lot of issues, a lot of challenges getting into it as they were going back and forth. But it's official. Rob, is this the president announcing it?
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
I just turned on the television. I want to see how the stock market's doing today. Stock market's up 600 points. That means they like you. If they didn't like you.
I love when people like you. That's him. Looks like a young guy, man.
It's actually up to 50,702. So that's as of about 12 minutes ago. Now, who knows? But I think it can only go up. I think with you, it's only going to go up. That was a number that nobody thought was reachable during my entire 4 years.
You know
if
how much
you look at some of the great pundits.
You know what he just did?
They said,
I don't know if you know what he just did.
What?
Let it keep playing, Rob.
That would be impossible during the 4 years, but sometime after we hit it in the first year, but now we're really hitting it.
This guy is so good.
Think of it.
He's so funny and so good what he just did.
And S&P likewise set a new record today. They both set new records today.
And then he's
that's
talking
something
about how
good. But you're going to bring.
You can pause it right. How great the Dow is doing, and he's saying it's just going to go up with you. What is? You know what he's saying?
That I'm great.
No,
Look at me.
not at all. No, not at all. What he's saying to him is, you better lower the rates.
Yeah. In front of everybody.
That's what he's saying. And look at his face. He's kind of like, shit. He know. By the way, what do you think is the only place this relationship can go moving forward the next 2 years? Good or bad?
Down.
It's only down.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the happiest these two are going to be the next 2 years.
Ever.
After this, it's
he's going to say he's the worst guy he's ever met in his life.
Well, he has to own this. But by the way,
Powell.
Who picked Powell?
That's right. Trump did.
So
this is back to back. So Tom, tell us why this is a big deal. And the tough part is even Tom is saying that the poor guy is going to have to raise the rates if inflation goes the way it's going, not even lower the rates. Go ahead, Tom.
Right. There's all kinds of false flags and assumption here. So part one, this guy came out of the Senate Banking Committee 13-11. That was the vote in committee, Pat, that this guy should go out to a vote on the floor to be on the Fed. 2 votes out of committee. Then they voted 55-45, Pat. Isn't that amazing? That's tight. Do you know what Jerome Powell was when he was put in under Biden? 84-13. The whole Senate, like bipartisan, was there. The only Democrat this guy got was Fetterman. Then when Powell was that member of Trump 84-13, excuse me, and then under Biden, Powell renewed at 80-19. You go back to people like Alan Greenspan, 91-7. We have politicized the Fed to the point that now it's on party lines. And they held this up because they didn't like Trump. That's my first point, is to take a look at what was going on here. But the second thing is, let me explain. He is a supply side guy. And a supply side guy are the people that believe the economy should be enabled by access to inexpensive capital. So, Vinny, you could go build the little factory you want to build a garment factory to make Angry Patriot hats and shirts.
Thank you.
Supply-siders say, how do I make it so that everything from the Small Business Administration to bank loans for little companies that be there so you can go build? Whereas the Keynesians, those are the ones that are in the Fed right now. And the Fed is overrun by Keynesians who think that the government should control the demand by all the levers that it's pushing. And I don't feel that way. This guy just walked into the lion's den, and he is in there going to get it back. And there is a difference between people say, inflation is up, we should raise the rates. No, inflation is not up. We have supply spikes that are raising prices, but those are not pure signs that the whole economy's got an inflation problem. We have a supply spike. Which way? Down in oil and everything that oil becomes. Gasoline, heating for your home, not as important in the summer, and jet fuel. So guess what? Airline tickets go up, everything that goes up. Diesel fuel, getting all that, some apples to the grocery store. Apple is up, not because there's inflation effect on apples, but because there's inflation on the diesel fuel. But as soon as you fix the supply spike on fuel, we are going to discover that the inflation rate is not 3.1, 3.8, 4%. Those are false flags. And so the first thing that he has to do, Pat, is get through all this, because I believe we need rate cut. We need a quarter cut on July 28th, 29th. That's what I believe, and all the supply-siders that I line up with believe that. His fight is going to be against the spike, because the spike is not, you see what I'm saying? It's a supply spike that is putting inflation statistics that might normally indicate inflation, but it's not. And so I am glad this guy got through 13-11, 55-45. I'm glad that Trump's happy with him. I agree. The relationship can only go one way from that press conference. But I'm telling you, I am praying this guy is successful, and people should put aside the partisan and understand that the socialists love the Keynesians because they're government-oriented people and they want to control demand by government, and that's what the socialists want. The supply-siders like me are free market guys.
Did you get that, Vin?
Dude, I concur with everything that he just
You
said.
sure?
100%.
Well, you know what?
What?
You might be wrong, buddy.
What?
Because there might be some things that Tom is wrong about.
Go ahead,
Yes.
tell me.
I mean, I'm not going to fight with Tom, but I mean, maybe other people. There's one thing that I'll correct on that. By the way, welcome to the big leagues, Kevin Warsh. Kevin Warsh. See, he's not even a known guy now. I've got his name wrong.
Warsh.
Welcome to the big leagues, Kevin Warsh. By the way, we just talked earlier about MBAs and going to education. This guy is a prodigy. This guy went to Stanford, he went to Harvard, then he went to Harvard Business School, and then he went to Harvard Law School.
So 2 tassels.
Who's this guy? He's Tomming it up.
Yeah.
He makes Tom look like a buffoon. And Tom's the smartest guy we know. We all know that. But here's a couple things. We know that the Fed's job is to do 2 things: keep employment at a rate below 5% and keep interest rates as close to 2%. And they're constantly moving that lever. Bad news for the Fed crowd. This guy's just going to retain more power. But here's why I disagree with Tom. You're saying that you're most likely going to have a rate cut. That's kind of what you said. Wall Street, it says here, that they're planning and betting on a rate hike. They're saying that
Why are they betting?
Wall Street has increased their bets on a potential rate rise.
Why?
Traders in the futures market are now fully pricing in a 1/4 point increase in rates by the end of 2026. Here's my question. You think Trump brought this guy in to do an increase? Doubtful, right? Because that's basically
But that's not what's going to happen. These types of guys, they're not going to do what the president wants them to do. This guy's not going to do what
That's my
Trump wants
point,
to do. Yeah.
is that everyone is saying that you need to basically keep rates as is, and they're factoring in a potential rate hike. What Trump wants and what Tom is sort of saying is a rate reduction, right?
Right.
Bottom line, a 1/4 point is probably going to go up, yes, or go down.
By the way, it's not my arbitrary want. I believe when the supply shock goes away on oil and things come back down, we are going to discover we do not have an inflationary economy. We are discover that we've got job changes and unemployment, which means we need to give capital to businesses to go expand.
I agree with you on the
I believe
temporary
that's
inflation,
where
what
we're
they called
going.
it transitory back in the day. I think obviously there's an oil spike and everything like that. The bigger thing, I think what you're saying is how to basically hire employment due to AI. I think you think
And
that's
everybody's been spooked by the length of time of the war, and they're seeing all these inflation-oriented stats out there, but it's not broad-based structural inflation at the bottom.
I think we're saying the same thing. Is
And
that,
so
that
that's
the
why
oil
they're
thing is
pricing
short
in.
term?
They're
that the
like,
AI
oh my
thing is
gosh, all
unemployment
these
is long
stats are
term.
going to be out there, and Warsh is going to have no choice but to raise it a 1/4. And I'm like, get
do you
the
think,
spike
Vin?
out of
What do
the
you think's
way.
gonna
and
happen?
talk what's going to happen?
I'm riding and die with Pimp Tom. I'm not.
Let's go to the last story.
All right,
Let's
so
go to
remember
the
that when the
right
rate
story.
hike goes up.
I told
White
you
House
could have a factory
shooting.
build your
Rob, White House shooting. So everybody's minding their own business, trying to see what's going on with Iran and U.S.'s deal. And then all of a sudden, Vin is like, there was a shooting at the White House. 30. Do you have the other one, Rob, that has all 3 of them? I have that in my notes as well. I don't know if you go to it, you'll see where all 3 of them, when the shooting happened, there was 3 different reactions. That's the one right there. So go ahead, play the clip while the shooting takes place. Look at the way different people react. And the girl in the middle, Julie, is like not even fazed by it. Selena doesn't even hesitate.
Oh, Selena,
She's a pro.
gang.
Aaron, you can tell he's maybe half Caucasian, half Asian.
Yeah, he's kind of getting
Get down,
it.
boy.
And then Julie's like,
hilarious.
those firecrackers are awesome, right? So maybe she has good memories with firecrackers on 4th of July. She went there. But anyways, you see the shooting, okay? And shooting near White House leaves 2 dead after encounter with Secret Service, Rob. Is this, here, let me just read it here because that could take a few minutes. I'm going to go to this. Secret Service officers have shot and killed a man after he opened fire on them at a security checkpoint outside the White House on Saturday evening. The gunman was taken to a hospital where he later died. A bystander was also shot in the incident who also passed away as well. That is so tragic, man. Like, you didn't do anything. You're just going out there doing your thing. Boom, you get shot, and now your family doesn't get to see anymore. Trump was at the White House when the shots were heard. He has been briefed on the shooting. CNN reporters at the scene said they sounded like dozens of shots, while NBC News put the number at approximately 20 to 30 shots fired. The suspect approached a security checkpoint carrying a bag from which he drew a firearm and opened fire on Secret Service officers. This preliminary investigation suggests he was emotionally disturbed and had a previous stay-away order against him. Authorities are now investigating his motives and possible connection to the extremist groups. The shots were fired at the corner of the 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest location. Kash Patel issued a statement on X, which read, FBI is on the scene supporting Secret Service. Journalists who were gathered on the North Lawn at the time were quickly ordered by Secret Service to run inside the White House briefing room. So, Vinny, your thoughts on the story?
Well, I mean, apparently this individual had already been someone that they were looking at. He already tried rushing the White House, the barriers once. He claimed that he was Jesus Christ. So I don't know how this guy just walked around. They obviously said that he had mental issues. I'm happy, God rest the souls of the other person that was involved, Pat. But I think this is on a bigger scale, on a bigger, deeper issue. I sent Rob a chart from YouGov that 25% of very liberal Americans say violence can be justified to achieve political goals, compared to 3% of very conservative Americans. And again, I don't know what this guy's problem. Jesus Christ, he wanted to kill the president. I don't know. But when you see stats like this and you see charts like this, and then I sent Rob another video. This is a leftist Democrat woman. Look at how, guys, I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Biden. Just as a human being, look at her response, Pat, that when she found out that there was a shooting at the White House. Tell me this is a normal person that's walking around that wishes death upon people. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're saying there was like 30 gunshots fired outside the White House.
Look at this.
Please.
Look at this. Look, what? She's like, please, man. She's like, please. Like, hoping and praying that the president of the United States is dead. I mean, we already, how many attempts on his life? How many attempts, threats on his family's life? How many golf course? How many butlers? How many? It's like, and I love, because I saw a bunch of clips last week on people that were on CNN and Scott Jennings was debating. I forgot who the kid was. He's like, yeah, the majority of this violence is coming from the right. Enough of that nonsense. It's all coming from freaking one side. If I had to assume who this person was, he was probably, if he was voting, if he was before he went nuts, it's the left. It's the left that keeps coming with this violent. When you have the Hasan Pikers, when you have all these people that are praising and hoping and praying, as a normal human being, you're hoping and crossing your fingers and hoping to God that somebody's murdered like that. And then mind you, who was the Luigi Mangione? The girls showing up to the freaking courthouse because they love a murderer. Something is off. And going back, I throw out the word demons, Pat, and I was kind of being, a little funny, but I do love using that word. Something has captured the souls of these people spiritually, and it can't be positive. It can't be positive when that type of stuff is happening. Because just like the White House shooting, if you're the White House Correspondents' Dinner, did you think you were going to make it? That's a suicide attempt. You're doing a suicide mission to run in with a gun and try to kill people. Period. End of story.
Tom.
Yeah. By the way, the system worked here.
Thank God.
And no. The system worked because 17th in Pennsylvania is a security checkpoint for the West Wing and for the working media. And the cars that are on there, the barricades that are there, the trucks that go sideways and go back and forth, it's Fort Knox. You come across that street and you pull a gun out of your bag. The reason there's 30 shots, and I'd like to know how many shots by who, you know this area we're talking about. It says, yeah, exactly. The reason there's 30 shots, because there's 50 cops. I mean, if you pull something out, the number of people that are going to be drawing down on you as a threat, I'd like to know how many he shot. But the horrible thing is that it happened. But the good news is we've got protections in place, and the security detail worked.
Yeah.
But what's horrible is that we have this inciting a riot. We're inciting people, and we're bringing people to the edge of thinking it's okay. And that's terrible.
Tom, this guy he had mental problems. I don't know if he was committed. He says he's Jesus Christ. How does he have a gun in the first place? How do you have a gun to be able to come and they know who you are and you still get that close? I mean, thank God, obviously he wasn't going to get anywhere near the White House.
This goes back to something we've been talking about forever, and I'm going to make this really short. It says, see something, say something. We're all supposed to do that if we see some odd person, at a petrochemical plant. That was coined by W, who said, see something, say something. If you see a bunch of guys at a petrochemical plant, don't think they belong there, say something. So now we need, all of the resources that can be there so somebody can report it. What was lost on the previous, shooter at the mosque in San Diego was that the mom alertly called and said, you got to get going. And so the police were actually converging on him, and the mom did not wait. She called and said, he's off his rocker, he's out here, and I think he took a gun from the house. Police were already tracking the cell phone he was carrying in San Diego. But we need proactive resources for the people with mental illness, and we need to turn down the temperature of the rhetoric, which is not going to happen.
Adam.
Yeah, well, I was just in D.C. Last week. I was actually fortunate enough to go to the House of Representatives. And let me tell you something. To get even near the Capitol, to get near the White House, I mean, you have to go through step after step after step after step. So whoever this mentally deranged person was who thought that they were even going to get close to Trump is a farce at best. And unfortunately, I don't know what this guy's situation is. I don't even want to know his name. He's a leftist lunatic. He probably didn't have his meds, whatever the thing is. But unfortunately, here's the reality. This is becoming all too common on the left, especially with Trump. You talked about it. If this was a story X amount of years ago, it'd have been the number one story. We saved this story for last. And it's not because we saved the best for last. It's just because it's becoming all too common. Unfortunately, the left or the leftists have become one thing. They're the anti-Trump party. Rob, you have that picture? This, unfortunately, and I know a lot of these people, a day of the life of the typical leftist, they think of everything in the Trump lens, and they're justifying violence. What was the thing that Hasan Piker said? We got to take out you-know-who. And everybody in the room applauded and cheered, and they knew exactly what they meant. They think on the leftists, Dennis Prager, the great Dennis Prager, helped me at the time realize there's a difference between a liberal and a leftist. But the liberals are justifying what the leftists are doing, and that's why the progressives had taken over that party, and it's sad to see, and they become godless and soulless, especially when they're justifying murder.
Yeah, and so imagine that's the last story we're covering. Think about that.
Yeah.
Imagine what era we're living in, where the last story we cover before we wrap up is that story.
Typically would be a lead story, is what
it would be a lead story, and now we're covering the last. Anyways, gang, to everybody that's watching this, couple things. One, Vinny has a special podcast that's about to go out on Valuetainment Comedy. And Vinny, you want to tell us about this?
Oh, yeah. So Dan Simmons, who's ex-Green Beret, veteran, it's freaking awesome. It's going live at, it's premiering at 11:30, guys. So put it on there on your reminder. It's going to be going live here shortly.
Starts in 16 minutes.
16 minutes. Great conversation, military life, from a heroin addict to freaking what he's done for the country. It's amazing. And can I say one thing too, Pat? Because you mentioned the 1 million subscribers. I want to thank, obviously, all glory goes to God. Everybody that's subscribed, that's liked, shared, and everything. And for you, Pat, I have to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You were sitting at home watching YouTube videos with Jen, and horrible content in my eyes. It was just, no, Adam, because in LA, good. People were like, just put something on there. And you saw something in me. And by the grace of God, I came here. I took a leap of faith. God knows. And you've challenged me. You've pushed me. You made me a better communicator. And I thank you and I love you to death. I can't express with words how much. And we just broke 1,160,000 and we're literally only getting started. And the future looks so bright. And I want to say thank you and I love you.
Anytime. Love you too. Love you too. Gang, with that being said, enjoy. Rob, do we have something tomorrow or?
Yes, Rick Ross.
Rick Ross.
Ball.
Oh, my God. That's
the ball.
The opening. Well, we talked about him being a correctional officer. He didn't like that.
Not happy.
No,
he didn't like that part?
Anyways, you guys going to enjoy it's going to be testy. The first 5-10 minutes is very intense. You guys will enjoy it.
Interesting.
Take care, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.